Welcome to Coming Up Roses. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Kelly, and today is Sunday, November 6th, 2022. This is episode 81.
81. And you're thinking, well, what happened last week? Well, here's what happened last week.
Well, we had a week where we had the two close together.
Yeah.
And then the last time you saw us, we were on the road.
Yes.
Having
a
which was
blast
a great
in Northern
time.
Virginia.
We
Yeah.
had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if that made a difference or not.
Probably not.
But last week we were struck down with illness, or at least I was.
Yeah.
And not feeling it whatsoever. So, I don't know, Thursday night I started feeling like I had kidney stone, which still possibly could have been the issue.
Could have, and you might have just passed it and not realized it.
Maybe.
Because if it was real tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't feel real tiny Thursday night for a little while there, but anyway, did like a med online virtual doctor visit.
Yeah.
Thursday night to get an antibiotic for, possibly a bladder infection or urinary tract infection or something. I don't know. Got that and then just could not stop running a fever. Like,
it was so bizarre because she doesn't ask for blankets unless Tilly's in her lap. That's the only reason she would want a blanket. She asked for 3 blankets.
And at one point, I did. I had 3 blankets on top of me, and I was shivering so bad. Like, full body, like, just convulsions.
Yeah.
And then that would break, and I would spike up a fever. Like, I think it got, like, to 102.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would finally take Tylenol or something to just... I didn't feel bad. Like, I didn't feel sick. I wasn't throwing up or dizzy or nauseous or any of that. I just was running this fever.
Yeah.
And then getting chills, and then running a fever, and then getting chills. And it went on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday I broke down and did something I've never done before. And I went to an actual urgent care place. I was going to wait till Monday. Our primary care doctors have an urgent care set up, but it was not open on Sunday. And everybody had me so freaked out that I was going to end up in the hospital that I went in.
Well, Jen was saying, well, maybe you've got a
appendix
burst.
Someone else was like, it could be a kidney infection, in which case that could go bad really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's doing the WebMD thing.
Well, no, people were saying, like, things that had happened to them.
Yeah.
And then I started doing the WebMD thing, which is never good.
Yeah. Because they always start with, like, the worst case scenario, which almost inevitably is cancer. Like, I slipped, fell, and my leg is in 2 separate places.
Nothing I read said cancer.
Well, yeah. It's unbelievable that it didn't, but yeah.
So anyway, they put me on a different antibiotic because apparently I'm aged out of the antibiotic that the original doctor put me on.
Yeah, Dr. Flash. This guy was talking like... And no lie, we were following along, but it was just like, Jesus Christ, this
he
guy...
even acknowledged how fast he was talking. He's like, I think I've had too much coffee today. We're like...
It's like talking to the Flash, and I was like, all right, well, I get it. So, I mean, we waited 3 times longer to get into the room than it took us to be in the room with the guy.
Well, urgent care right now, people are... That was the thing. Like, I didn't want to go sit... When I started having the kidney stone pain, I knew that's what it was. I've had that before.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to go sit in the ER. They can't do anything really anyway except verify that it's kidney stone and pump you full of pain medicine. And the pain wasn't so bad I didn't feel like I couldn't manage it. And I did not want to expose myself to every other illness of people sitting in the emergency room. So anyway, went to urgent care. They put me on a stronger antibiotic. That seemed to do the trick.
Yeah, the first one, the WebMD guy gave you one that didn't boost your immunity. It just kind of activated it.
Yeah. The doctor said that antibiotic doesn't really kill bacteria. It just weakens it. And then your immune system does the rest of it. Well, my immune system wasn't having any of that shit.
Yeah, your immune system said, look, I'm taking a break here.
Yeah. So anyway, I felt better as soon as I started taking the second antibiotic.
Well, it put you down, too.
But then I had, was it Tuesday morning? Because I was out of work Friday and Monday. Tuesday morning I got up, and I'm kind of an obsessive temperature taker.
Yeah.
When I'm sick, I check my temperature a lot. And when we were in the urgent care, one of the things the doctor said was, yeah, these like infections can go septic pretty quickly, so it's good to get it checked out and whatever. So I woke up Tuesday morning feeling much better, and just, I don't know, out of instinct took my temperature, which I don't do when I'm not sick, but when I've been sick I do it a lot. And it was low. It was 96.4 or something. And I was like, that can't be right. So I took it again, and again it was in the 96 range. So I was like, wow, that's, to me, seems really low for your body temperature. And so, of course, what I did was I Googled it, and it said you could be hypothermic, which I knew I wasn't hypothermic, or you could be going into sepsis. And so that just triggered almost a panic attack response for me. Like,
so she texted me because I was in the, drinking coffee in the living room. I come back and she's telling me this, and I'm like, I don't think you have sepsis, baby. You would not be feeling good at all.
I felt fine, by the way. I felt fine.
You would be feeling like dog shit, because that shit is your organs shutting down. If your organs start shutting down, you're gonna feel a little bit more than hey, I'm all right. My temperature's a little low, but
anyway, I texted my sister in a panic, and
called her.
I texted, I think, and then I called her.
Yeah.
And then I told her, and she was like, "Are you feeling okay?" And I said, "I feel fine." And she goes, "Stop taking your temperature. You're fine."
Yeah.
Was your blood pressure? My blood pressure was almost dead perfect, 120/80.
Which is weird because you were panicking a little bit. You should have been a little high.
Which probably means truly was probably really low. But I said, "I'm taking my blood pressure cuff and my thermometer to work with me today." She's like, "Don't take any of that to work with you. Yeah. You're fine." I did take my thermometer with me. And of course I was fine. But it just freaked me out. Anyway, I'm still here. We're back. Feeling better than I have felt in a really long time.
Did you miss us? Leave us in the comments. Did you miss us? Because we missed you guys.
Yeah. No, I finished my course of antibiotics this morning. Mm-hmm. I've actually been feeling a lot better than I was even feeling before I got sick. So that might have been coming on for a little while.
Yeah.
It just happened to coincide with my friend Robin, who's my teaching assistant. She was also sick, but with something different, like just the crud that's going around.
Yeah, she got crud from the kids.
And
basically just straight up cough in her face. So.
We were both out of work on Friday, which has not ever happened to me since I've been teaching kindergarten, that me and my assistant were both out on the same day. And, I mean, you want to talk, like, of course I was dragging my ass in there Friday morning.
But you had, like, 12 kids out that day, too.
But so. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't have 12 kids out. I had 12 kids.
Oh, Jesus.
So they took 3 and put them each in... Each other kindergarten class got 3 of my kids.
Well,
they had to split them up because you can't get subs anymore. That's just a joke. And trying to get coverage. I mean, I was so panicky about it. But anyway, that's all in the past. All feeling better. Back to health.
We're back.
The antibiotic has not been kind to my weight loss journey. I have gained 2.5 pounds this week. Even Tilly doesn't like the sound of that.
Stop.
But I had gotten down to, like, the lowest point. I had reached a new, like, low.
So far.
63 pounds lost, and then I gained 2.5 pounds back. But
still.
I think the thing is, like, when I'm really being careful, I'm not eating breakfast. Because I'm really not hungry in the morning. I'll eat because I really like breakfast. That's probably my favorite meal to eat. But, like, when I'm trying to be good, I'm not, and I don't eat when I'm not hungry, I just don't eat breakfast.
Well, plus this week you had to eat.
I had to eat because I was taking medicine. Yeah. So that's probably why I was eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacking at night. Like, we had apple pie, Mom and Dad.
Well, sugar-free apple pie. Mom made it with
It's not completely
Splenda.
sugar-free. Apples have sugar in them.
Yeah, but, you know.
But we didn't add sugar to it. Let's put it that way. We bought a big bag of apples when we were up in the mountains. And Mom and Dad sat yesterday and peeled and sliced them all with the fancy, brand new apple slicer peeler combination thing for our KitchenAid mixer. We had one with the little blade that peels the apples while it's coring and slicing was broken. And I couldn't find anywhere where I could just find that little tiny attachment. So we had to spend $75 on a whole new kit just to get that one tiny attachment. But
it's a pain in the ass.
I think once we got that, it was a breeze. But there must have been 50 apples in there. Like, you know, they were...
They peeled and cored all 50 apples, put it in a big bowl, mixed in some Splenda, like big bag Splenda for baking.
Cinnamon, nutmeg.
All
that cornstarch, all that good stuff. And then Mom made up pies and put them in the freezer. And baked one last night. It was
really good.
It's funny that, like, you've had apple pie, like, commonly. You know, you'll buy it at the store or whatever. There is no apple pie to me that tastes as good as the apple pie Mom makes from our apples when we go. I almost can taste the whole experience of being up in the mountains again.
Plus you get a better variety of apples because we had like
we just randomly picked different apples, and mix them all together.
Yeah, and we mixed them all together. So you with traditional apple pie recipes, like some of them will say, "Well, mix one Granny Smith with 4 Red Delicious."
We don't even pay attention. Like when we're picking the apples, we read the little thing saying if they're good for baking or the sweetness or tartness of them or whatever, and then we just kind of throw them all in a big bin. We don't even really pay attention to what kind of apples
it all gets mixed together, so you might get a little sliver of Granny Smith next to a Fuji or something.
But the sweetness of the apples, there's just something, and I don't know, it's probably just because I love it so much, and but I can just taste it. It brings me right back to that.
There you go.
It's better than any apple pie that anyone else. You can't convince me there's a better apple pie.
There you go.
So, anyway, we did all that. Since we've been eating breakfast, Chick-Fil-A is the thing. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And there's the Chick-Fil-A closer to our house. There's one close to my school, which has been closed since June for remodeling.
A very long time.
Literally just reopened last week. But the one closer to our house that we've been going to, that one. Kevin's become very well known there as Mr. Kelly. And the manager lady, he has these little names for everybody.
Yeah.
Manager lady. So you went and got Chick-fil-A
the
other day?
Well, no. The first story was when me and you went together.
It was the day after Halloween.
The day after Halloween, and she's all excited because yesterday she said, "Oh, did you guys enjoy Halloween?" I was like, "Yeah, well, I had to work, so." And Kelly was like, "Yeah, it was all right." And she was like, "Oh, we got all dressed up and we did all blah, blah, blah." She's all excited about it. And she said, "You guys," just out of the fucking blue, she's like, "You guys have adult children, right?"
No, she goes, "Do you have adult children?"
We're like, "What the fuck?" What?
I mean, I've been asked before if I have children.
Yeah.
I've never been asked if I have adult children.
Yeah. It's like, okay,
it kind of struck both of us funny because I was like, okay,
wow.
Clearly I am looking old. This woman's too old for me to ask if she actually has children. She would dress up for Halloween, but
no, she was like, "You guys must have adult children." She's assuming like a lot.
No, she wasn't. She just said, "Do you all have adult children?"
Yeah.
It just was weird.
It's a leap. It's a big leap, I think. Especially, but
no, I felt like it was a statement on our age.
I get that. But you're assuming A, that we have children, and B, that we've been married so long, and we have that our children are adults.
I mean, if I had children, they would be adults right now.
Yeah,
I'm not saying she was wrong in that, but like, it was just the phrasing of it. It was one of those almost backhanded. Mm-hmm. Things, where it's like, oh, if you can find love, then there's still hope for me. Kind of compliments where Remember the time we went to the movies and the lady was like, well, at least you have good taste.
You have good fashion taste.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I like your shirt. And I was like, oh, thanks. And then she said it to you.
And I was
at
like,
least
great.
she has good fashion sense.
And I thought, okay. Because I'm an idiot. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
I'm walking away like, what the fuck was that supposed to mean? At least I have that.
She says that, and I was like, oh, yeah. That's fucked up.
One of those kind of backhanded things. And I'm sure manager lady didn't mean it that way.
I know.
She was trying to make conversation because they were running a little bit slow.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then you had some kind of emotional connection with her.
So, like yesterday, right, I roll up there, and she's like, oh, it's so good to see you, Mr. Kelly. Are you coming back Monday or Tuesday? And I was like, sure, because inevitably it's like, yeah, I'll probably come back up here Monday or Tuesday. It's a good bet.
It's the safe bet.
It's a solid bet. And she's like, oh, because I'm going to be leaving. I'm moving away. And she's like having this like, I guess, connected moment. Like she's like, I'm sorry, I'm going to be leaving forever. You're never going to see me again. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. Can I get my food? But she was like having like a real moment. I'm like, wow, this kind of sucks. But
she's having a real moment with a guy who she doesn't know his real name.
Yeah, she doesn't even know my real name. Thinks I got adult kids.
Calls him Mr. Kelly because I always order from my app.
And it's like, the likelihood is we wouldn't going to go there that much anyway because the Chick-Fil-A by the school is open.
The other one reopened, so chances are we won't.
Which, they were closed for a very long time. Here's another thing that bothered me with that. They looked like they were tearing shit down a little bit and whatever. Come back, all they did was put the fancy awning up that they got now at all the Chick-fil-A's. They couldn't do anything with the thing to make it a full two car wide thing. Yeah, and then they put the fancy door out, which they don't use because they're still just handing food out through the window. Yeah. So
I guess Chick-fil-A had to spend money somehow. So
yeah, I guess so. But none of the people that we knew were still there. Like Pag, pretty alright guy, was gone. So
we didn't see the haggard bitches.
Well, the haggard bitches are all at the Rite Aid, and we only see them when you go in late.
That's true.
So, but when they're out there, man, there's no other way to describe them. They are haggard bitches. You can look at them. I don't care who you are. You'd look at them and say, okay, I get it. Those are some haggard bitches.
Oh, well. So Halloween came and went. Mm-hmm. Pretty much uneventful.
Yeah. It was.
We had my Uncle Jerry and Aunt Karen in town for the weekend, so it was nice to spend time with them.
Yeah.
Kevin got the Halloween decorations down before Mom even knew it.
Yeah. She asked me we had a spider web out, and she said, just take the web down. I'll take care of everything else. So I just picked it all up and brought it into the garage. It wasn't anything. I was done in less than 10 minutes. So she had zip tied a lot of stuff, so I just busted out my razor and was like.
So now we're on to the
a little Christmas.
Looking forward to the holiday decorating. I bought a new snowman. I was gonna put in the yard, and then I put it together, and it's only like 3.5, 4 feet maybe. But I put it together in the living room, and it's so cute. I'm like, I might want to keep it inside, because it's more cloth.
Yeah.
Then like the other one is that metal, so it's better for the outside. But he's really super cute, and I'm thinking about painting the window. Mm-hmm. And I don't know.
You're into it this year. I was thinking about your snowman. What if we put him on the chest there?
I won't ever be able to see him. I mean, You'll be able to see him every day when you're working.
Well, that's true.
But I won't ever be able to see him.
All right. Well, that's just a thought.
I mean, it's a cute idea, but I want to enjoy it.
I hear you.
So
we got I guess I don't know when we want to start doing it, but we got the nativity that we bought last year that we can put up this year for the first time. I'm looking forward to that.
Maybe the weekend after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I want to get through Thanksgiving before we start putting real deal Christmas decorations up. I can't be one of those people.
The last 2 years we did early, but that's because, everybody was decorating early because fucking pandemic blues.
I get not tired of looking at it, but it starts to lose its
wonderment.
Wonder if I'm staring at it for so long. I love Thanksgiving, so let's just
Yeah.
deal with
I'm
that.
100%.
Then,
That's like I tell people. It's like I don't start. I love Christmas music. I do. I love it to death. But I don't start doing it until Santa crosses 34th, and then it's on.
you have glitter in your beard.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. In your mustache. Where'd
Fucking
that
strippers.
come from?
No. I have no idea.
Probably the snowman.
Probably, yeah.
Probably has some glitter on him somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's a big
He
week.
is on a pole.
Huh, he is on a pole. The North Pole.
Oh!
Kids didn't have school Friday because it was a teacher work day.
Mm-hmm.
Monday is also a teacher work day. I took a personal wellness leave day. So I had Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off because Tuesday's election day. Schools don't work on election day. And then I work Wednesday, Thursday, and then we're off Friday for Veterans Day.
We've only got one thing on our ballot.
Yeah, there's only one thing to vote for in our district, so
Yeah.
it's going to be a quick voting experience for us.
Well, we're going to go with your mom and dad, so that'll make it last forever.
I did my nails in honor of all the events. So these two for Election Day, and then these are for Veterans Day. Did a fun little combo there. This is called Salute to You.
I saw that.
Yesterday when we bought our mattresses, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, if it's been that long, we put a mattress protector on them, and Tilly likes to dig and nest and whatever, and she's shredded them. So I bought 2 new ones, and I said to Kevin, like, let's just take them
Strip
off
them
and
off
put
and
new
move
ones
on.
on. Easier job, I think, being that they're twin size beds because it's just easier to get them. But we took them off, and it was like someone shot a confetti cannon of this
the top
shredded
layer,
material from these mattress
yeah,
covers.
the top layer is like a cloth, and the bottom layer was like a layer of, I want to say plastic, but not
It's
quite.
like a moisture barrier so that
Yeah.
you're just protecting your mattress from everything.
Yeah, sweat, piss, whatever. And we pulled it off, and it was all cracked up and dried plastic. You know how that gets. And it was all over the bed.
Oh my God, it was
damn.
everywhere.
So pulled out, and the sheets we have are deep sheets, so they don't come up.
They're called quick zip sheets.
And
And
top,
you just zip the top off and wash it and then
Right.
zip it back on. They're the best sheets ever.
yeah, they really are. I mean, they if you're just looking for sheets that you're just okay, I just want to wash the top part. Where
If
it
if
touches
you've
my
ever
body.
had the problem of your fitted sheet just not staying on your bed,
I mean,
these
things
solve that problem.
Yeah, these things go almost all the way under the bed.
they're
Like,
awesome.
It's great. But since they now had all this plastic shit in it, we had to pull them all the way off and throw them in the wash machine. And then we had to bust out the vacuum cleaner, which is always fun because little miss here, that's the enemy.
Hates
She
the vacuum.
hates the vacuum cleaner. But what we found out was this vacuum cleaner, a few shows back, we talked about how we had to get a new vacuum cleaner. This is the best vacuum we've ever had. By far. Because it has a hose attachment and whatever, and those things we never were able to get to work on any of the other ones. This one was like easy peasy, just getting shit up.
We vacuumed
Clean
so
up.
much.
I had to empty the cylinder like 3 or 4 times,
Shredded.
and every time it's just like.
Yeah. But we
clean
got
out
the
filters.
new ones on, got the bed swapped around.
Mm-hmm.
Slept so good last night. Something about just like,
We switched sides of the beds again.
yeah, we did every now and then we just switch sides of the bed. It's weird. People don't do that, but we apparently do.
Well, you wanted to try something different, but I
Well,
don't
the
think you
reason
were
we
ever
switched
really
in
all
the
that
first
comfortable.
place is because Tilly would sleep at my feet and I was not sleeping at all.
Yeah.
Then we switched sides of the bed and it confused the crap out of her and she stopped really doing that. Now she sleeps in between us or she sleeps on the floor in her bed. So I'm like, let me try to go back. And it was so funny. We went to bed last night. First thing she did, jump up there and burrow herself down to my feet. I was like, God damn it. But she didn't stay down.
No,
She's like, no.
she said, you know what? I'm a big girl now. I'm going to go back up to where I normally go.
So she slept on the floor most of the night.
Which is wild because we had the windows open. If you're in Virginia, you know why, but it's crazy hot. It's
not
November.
crazy hot. It's like 78, 80.
It's November.
I know. It's warm in the daytime, and then it gets cold at night. And
it didn't get all that cold last night either.
It didn't, but it was comfortable.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Other than that, we don't really have any other stuff going on. We had our little welcome back Chick-Fil-A moment where we stopped in our old little spot and looked at our old international parking shopping mall.
It didn't change at all.
Had our breakfast.
All still there,
so. Like I said, this week we have voting to do, and I'm going to work with Dad on a Lego set. Other than that, we got nothing much going on.
Yeah. Well, I saw there was a article, and I've seen a couple articles going back and forth about it. There was an article about basically a writer for The Atlantic was like, well, we should go ahead and just give amnesty to the people that made bad decisions during the pandemic. And, because, they're just going with what they thought was the right thing. I was like, no, dude, no, that's not right. Because they did some really bad things during the pandemic. They did it. Censor people and say, well, we can't have this information going out, and then censor those people. And it turned out, no, those people were right. And, all of this stuff where it's like, we have to shut the schools down. Well, all the studies now are saying how horrible of an idea that was, especially since at the time they even knew that transmission and death was more about old people and not kids. Now, kids, not to say that no kids were dying from COVID, but by and large, the huge majority were fine. They would get COVID and then get over it.
So, no kids dying of COVID. Schools closed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so the amnesty thing, here's how I think about that.
Are you recording again?
Yeah, we never stopped recording.
Oh, okay.
So here's what I think about the amnesty is they were trying to do what they thought was going to be helpful to the people as a whole. So granted, yes, the kids weren't getting sick initially with COVID. Mm-hmm. But the kids aren't the only ones. They don't go to their buildings unaccompanied. So,
and I get that. But what they're saying now is that they want forgiveness for everything. So if you're just making a decision and you're like, I get making that decision. But they were doing things like, we're going to punish people for not... putting out disinformation, where they were just putting out their opinion or saying, hey, here's counter science that says this, we should be doing this. And we're like, you can't say that, and blocking them from the internet. And then as it turned out, they were right. They were correct. They had the better thing. I'm not saying that they didn't, they had such information. They said, well, let's make this decision. I get that. But they took it way too far. They said, we've got this power. Let's go ahead and take more of this power and use it so that we can do things that we want to do right now. And we can suppress these people from being able to say what they want to say because we have this thing that says, hey, we can do this now.
So who's asking for this forgiveness? Who thinks
the guy from The Atlantic was basically, trying to say that people in the government should be...
So we should just give the government a pass for everything they did. So...
And my guess is because he's trying to make sure that the Dems win or keep control in the midterms, which that's not going to happen, folks.
Are there people out there harboring, do they just need to hear the words like, I forgive you? I mean, I guess I'm not understanding, forgiveness from who? The voter?
The voters, yeah.
Okay. Whatever.
Please forgive us for our poor decision making.
Here's how I feel about that as far as the voting thing goes. Because I've seen every election cycle, right before every election, I get so freaking tired of watching the news, of watching television, of being on social media, because everyone believes their way is the right and only way.
Right.
Everyone has the right to prioritize their issues. Mm-hmm. What is most important to me might not be what's most important to you.
Right.
And that is okay because we are leading different lives.
Absolutely.
We have different values, possibly. We have different things that are important to us. Mm-hmm. We have different experiences. We have different ownerships. Like, we're not the same.
Mm-hmm.
And so everyone has a right to prioritize their important points and vote accordingly.
I'm 100% agreeing.
So for me to sit here and say, I think XYZ and the only person you can vote for are these people, to me seems very hypocritical.
No, I agree.
Because I don't give a flying fuck who anyone votes for.
No,
I really don't care.
I've said here on this show, I'm a guy who believes in voting on a principle, not a person. If you sit there and you want to say, I want to vote for blah, 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 because they have this agreeing principle, I'm like, I can respect that. If you're just saying, hey, I'll vote blue no matter who, or I'll vote red no matter who, okay, what are your principles behind that? That's what I want to know. Why would you vote for that? What guiding principle makes you do that?
I don't even want to know that. I don't need to know why.
I'm always curious.
I don't need to know why anybody's voting the way they're voting. There are women across the country who are voting with the abortion rights issue being their top. That is their number one priority.
Yeah.
Completely understandable if that is your experience and what you're prioritizing. There are women across this country that are voting economy as their number one. Completely understandable. Not my place to say you should be voting. You, as a woman, you should be voting with abortion as your top priority. It is not my place to say that. Mm. I can't make that decision. Let's just say it this way. I can't make that choice for you any more than I can make the choice whether or not you should keep or not keep your baby.
That's right.
Those are your personal choices. Mm-hmm. I have no say. I only have say over what my personal choices are.
That's right.
So I get sick of all this. If you don't vote this person, you're evil. If you let these people take office, we're going to fall into some fascist nation. It's scare tactics. And I'm so sick of hearing it.
Yeah. I'm
so sick of hearing it.
Well, that fear is what sells. Fear sells more than sex does, really.
It does. And they just have to figure out, and this has been going on well before Trump, long before.
It probably
where
started
they would say, we're going to
to
cut Social Security. Oh, we have to cut back on police and firemen because our budget. Let's scare the people into thinking they're going to lose Social Security or they're going to lose. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Make a decent argument for me to vote for you. That's what I want.
Yeah, I'm 100%.
So it just...
And make it easier for third parties to get into the ballots. Not just, libertarians, but every party should have equal access to the ballot. So...
Well...
That's where the real voter suppression is not voter suppression, it's ballot suppression. Your choices are limited.
Well, I honestly don't feel like we have just two parties. I feel like we have four parties. Mm-hmm. We have Democrats, and then we have extreme left. And we have Republicans, and then we have extreme right. Mm-hmm. And so I don't see them as... I listened to an interview with someone running for Senate, an incumbent. I'm terrible with this. I don't know his name. I was just listening. He was a Democrat trying to keep his seat, and
the guy out of
made
Ohio?
So much sense to me. Yes, the guy of Ohio.
Yeah.
Tom something.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not in Ohio, so I didn't pay very close attention. But listening to him talk, I was like, I agree with every single thing that he said.
Yeah.
And then he went off, and they brought the Republican challenger out. And I listened, and I was like, I agree with everything that he said. Mm-hmm. We need less extreme, more moderate on both sides.
Yeah.
Because I really, in my heart, have to believe that's where the majority of people are. Mm-hmm. It's like that rare cardinal that was half male, half female, completely red, beautiful scarlet red bird on this side, and the female. That's how I feel most people are when it comes to politics. We're like some of this and some of that.
Yeah,
but you can't exist. You can't have a voice if that's who you are right now.
You look at even the abortion issue. It's either they tell you that the false choice, that your choice is either no abortion at all or abortion up to the day of birth or after. So that's your choice. Either killing fully formed, functional babies or not at all. And nowhere is there like, well, maybe we can put the line, here's
the line was in the middle.
Conception, here's birth. Let's put where do you want this line? Where do you say, okay, this is conception, this is heartbeat, right here. This is where we want the line. Instead of saying, okay, this is, birth, and this is like we're killing a baby. We're killing a baby. When can we not kill the baby with it? Well, we're already there.
Well, isn't that what Roe was, like that middle line, like that reasonable middle?
Yeah.
And we had to push it. We had to keep pushing for more and more and more. This is what happens. Mm-hmm. You just can't be. I don't know.
There was a.
I'm ready for this election to be over, and I say this every year, so we can get back to some sort of normalcy, and then shit just gets crazier than it was before.
Because there's never not an election cycle now. First of all, because Congress runs
normal, uneventful government shit for a while. Some just smooth running. Productive government, it just doesn't seem to happen anymore.
The reason behind that is because government is so involved with your normal daily life now.
Are they though, really?
Yes.
Are they really?
Yeah.
How is government involved in my everyday life?
The gas prices are high because they've prevented domestic domestic
I'm going to speak very self-centered here, and I realize that I am only speaking for myself. Mm-hmm. The gas prices went up, right, and that's shitty because for whatever reason they went up. It did not stop me from living my life exactly the same way that I lived it before gas prices went up.
For us.
That's what I'm saying, just from my own personal view.
But prices as a whole have gone up considerably.
Well, I do know.
There's a lot of reasons why, but the gas prices are a big chunk of that.
I agree.
So... there's that.
But I'm just saying I haven't personally felt like... maybe we were like, oh, well, steaks
because
are
of these
super
kids
expensive. We're not going to
get... You've got a lot more crazy kids in your class because of the
crazy kids.
You do. You got crazy kids.
They're not crazy. Let's stop. Let's stop with that. Society is different.
Yes. But
I had parent conferences this week, and there were some of them I was like...
Yeah.
Like a 20-minute conference was an hour and 20 minutes. Therapy session. People need therapy.
Yeah, probably.
And, I have 10 minutes and I'm like, okay, I understand, the problems that we're having in the classroom become really clear after a certain amount of time, but I don't know. Maybe that's government affecting my everyday. I don't know. I think that's societal.
I think society as a whole isn't.
You see society and government as equal, like they're the same?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I think when people say, "Well, America is the greatest country in the world," and I believe that, but not because of our government, but because the people at large are what makes our country great. When I see, just people being kind for no other reason, not expecting anything from it, not even a thank you, but they're just doing some kind thing. I see the fact that when some sort of disaster happens, no other country in the world has private citizens donating their own private money to those countries than the United States. Not even close. Not even a smidgen close. And not just rich folks. I'm saying folks that are just like, I'm having a little hard time rubbing a couple dimes together, but I'm going to send one of these dimes to Haiti because they just had the worst earthquake ever. Or, I'm going to, like Melissa's sister or whatever, who opened up her house to a family from the Ukraine. That's what makes America great. That's what the American people, not the government, because the government doesn't make our country great at all. If anything, it's a hindrance to those people.
But is that government anywhere, though?
What do you mean?
Like, that's not an American government.
No, government as a by and large is a hindrance to people. And you look at somebody like Bono, who had a journey where he learned this. He went to Africa. He was learning, I want to help these African people with, the extreme poverty. Because the poverty in the world all stems from, like, when they talk about, well, there's so much poverty in the world. And most of it's in Africa. And he went there and he's trying to learn, like, how can we truly help these people? And you can, you see interviews where he first started and then where he's at now. And he's like, well, let's, send as much money and resources to these people as you can. And he realized that's not working. This isn't helping them. And then he saw where people were starting businesses and these people were working and they started to get better. Like they would bring themselves up out of poverty through commerce. And he figured out that commerce is the secret to ending poverty. You look at interviews now and he says capitalism is way better at solving. Bono from YouTube.
YouTube?
Yeah. Okay. It was amazing because he was a total, believed in, we must be taking care of these people because they can't obviously take care of themselves. And then when he realizes that with commerce, people were taking care of themselves. And once they started taking care of themselves, they got better. Like they brought themselves up out of poverty through commerce.
Well, kind of as you were saying that, I was thinking of a headline, and I did not read the story because I'm bad about being a headline reader. I am. Biden helping families deal with high energy costs by either forcing the energy prices lower or like giving money for people. And I thought that's not the way. You don't just say, hey, we know gas prices are high, so what we're going to do is we're going to give you $50.
Yeah.
To help defer the price of gasoline. You've done nothing.
No, because guess what's going to happen? The price is going to go up. The price, and that's what happened. It happened with college education. The reason college tuition is so high is that the government got involved and said, okay, we're going to start handling this tuition.
We'll start backing these loans.
And then next thing you know, okay, well, now that the government's footing our bill, let's jack up our prices. And that's exactly what happened. So when they say, oh, we're going to make things cheaper by throwing money at it. No, that's not how you do it. You want to make energy prices go down? Then start allowing more nuclear power plants to be built. There's nothing better for energy production than the nuclear power plant. I'm sorry. There's nothing cleaner and nothing more that's going to produce more energy at a cheap, clean, sustainable method than nuclear. It's not going to be solar. Solar takes up tons of space to produce not even a smidgen of what nuclear can put out. I'm sorry. That's the God's honest truth.
Not to interrupt you, but I just pulled up my news app. No one won the Powerball.
Oh shit.
It's up to $1.9 billion.
All right. Well, we might be dropping $1 on a ticket or two.
I can't believe nobody won.
Now, we won't say whether or not we win the lottery.
There won't be any more episodes of this.
Oh, I think there will be. You'll know we did it. But we won't actually say we won. There'll be signs. There'll be crazy-ass signs. Like, you'll be like, Kevin didn't say anything about the $K Rose VA cash app this week.
Aunt Jemima's great-grandson was furious that her legacy was being erased.
Yeah.
See what I mean about me just being a headline reader?
It's
bad. I get it.
Yeah.
Here are 6 shampoo brands that were recalled over cancer risk.
Oh.
So let's see. Various dry shampoo aerosol products. Nexus, Tresemme, Rockaholic, Bedhead, dry aerosol shampoo. I have some of that, but I don't ever use it.
Good, because we don't need any more cancer in this house.
Get cancer from my hair shampoo. So anyway, I'm ready for Tuesday to be done. Yeah. I hope people can.
I'm a big fan of forgiveness. Don't get me wrong. I love forgiveness. I think that's
don't see what forgiveness does. Like asking for forgiveness for that, I don't understand.
I think in the context of the article, the guy was saying that, you should still vote for Democrats because even though they made all these horribly bad decisions that had dire consequences, they didn't mean it.
They were just trying to help.
Yeah.
It's the Good Samaritan law.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't disagree with that, but I'm not going to base my vote on anything like that.
Yeah. You get no forgiveness for censoring people. No.
All right.
So we're going to do some table topics. What would you do? Is that what this one is?
Table topics. Yeah, what would you do?
All right. You want to go first or want me to go
Sure,
first?
I'll go first.
All right, go ahead.
Which vices would you most like to indulge in?
Winning the lottery. That'd be great.
Just random, overspending. Yeah, that's the vice.
Yeah. Like I said, you'll see some weird shit on the show after we win that $1.5 billion.
I always used to say if I ever won the lottery, my loans get paid off, my student loans first. But since that's all taken care of now,
you'd be totally debt free within seconds. And then,
what would be your $1.9 billion is like.
Well, they were saying
$800 million.
Yeah, because they were saying just last week that it would be $500 million you walk away with.
Right. So
the kick-ass house, a couple kick-ass houses.
What would your very first thing be? Probably a visit to the ER to get my heart restarted.
I don't know. I mean, the first thing would be probably get a lawyer and a.
Oh, hells to the yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that would definitely be would be the first fun thing you would do.
Oh, probably a car, truck, something, some vehicle.
I would redo this whole freaking house.
Yeah.
Electric and put new. I mean, this house would be kicking out. Walls would be coming down.
Yeah, but would we still be living in it, or would we buy property and build a house?
I mean, I would probably do that.
Yeah. And I'm saying a couple houses. We'd have a house somewhere around here, maybe out in Pungo somewhere.
I mean, I wouldn't have a house here and in Pungo. That's literally 20 minutes away.
No, I'm saying Pungo here,
okay.
meaning Virginia Beach. And then one up near the mountains or out in Tennessee somewhere. Probably have a house out in Tennessee. Yeah, that'd be the way to go. And maybe,
big wraparound porch.
That's what I'm saying. That house we designed, but for reals.
Yeah. Someday.
Kick-ass backyard.
We gotta go buy pottery tickets. We gotta go buy lottery. Yeah.
All right. What would you tell your friends if you saw their child stealing cigarettes?
I saw
your
your
kid
child
stealing cigarettes.
Yeah. Get on that.
Yeah.
Can you steal cigarettes anymore, though?
I don't know.
How do you steal cigarettes?
I don't know.
You'd have to jump across the counter.
I mean, I guess they're talking about like out of somebody's purse.
Oh. I thought they meant like. Sorry.
My wife's the master criminal. That's stupid. Why would they go in the doggy door? They can't possibly get anything out of it.
I don't know anybody who carries cigarettes around anymore. You just don't see that.
That was my favorite thing. She said that one time. She said, I don't understand why they go through the doggy door. There's no way they're going to get a TV out of that doggy door. And I was like, they just opened the door at that point. She was like, oh.
Look.
My wife, the master criminal.
Out of the two of us, I'm the only one that's actually done a home invasion.
That's right.
So, all right. What would you do if you were driving at night and hit a dog?
Oh, my God. Oh, that sucks. I mean, if it's got a collar, I'd try to call the people and be like, look, man, I'm very sorry, but I killed your dog.
God, I hate this freaking question.
Yeah,
it's a terrible question.
Yeah.
I hit a rabbit one time.
Yeah.
We stopped and watched it die. It was horrible.
Yeah. I hit a deer once, but it was actually hilarious.
It wasn't hilarious for the deer, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, he spun around and ran away. He was fine. He was just, freaked Billy out, though. It was great. He was asleep. My brother Billy was passed out in the car. We were coming back from the bar. This was long before I met you. And I was driving home because I was completely stone sober. And it was kind of icy out. So I see this deer on the road, and I'm slowing down. I'm like, I'm going to try and creep past this deer who's just standing in the middle of the road. And I get up to where I'm just eye level with the deer. And I was like, he's going. And he jumps in front of the car. And he smashes into the car and wakes Billy up. Billy looks up, and the deer is spinning around on his ass going, yeah. Billy's like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh, my God. And then the deer run off, and he goes, what the hell? I was like, the deer was just there. It's all right. I was like doing 5 miles an hour. And he was like, it was great. Anyway. What's the maximum amount you would pay for surgery on a pet? Ooh. So when Dempsey got cancer, that was like $6,000.
Was it?
Yeah.
We had Sam, and he had bloat. I want to say that surgery was around $1,500 or $1,800, and then he died like 3 months later.
Yeah. They cut us a break on the $6,000. That's what it was.
I don't remember Dempsey. I mean, I know Dempsey had cancer, but he didn't have surgery.
It was on his leg. They cut the cancer off of his leg.
Oh.
And then he had to do...
That's right.
Yeah. The surgery itself was like I want to say it was $3,000. And then there was the rehabs that he had to do, which he was fine. I mean, it was almost like he had to do chemo. But dogs handle chemo better than people. So he actually loved going to the chemo doctor because there was this one nurse there that he would play with him.
I mean, it's hard because we were just saying this yesterday. Tilly's like a human dog to us. Like,
yeah.
She laid down on my lap last night and like rested her head up on my chest and just was looking at me, and it was the sweetest thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I literally was like, "Oh my God, this is like a human baby."
And after I dropped you off from school, I come home and I always open up the door. She runs out, does her business, comes back in, and she'll wait for me to sit down and put the blanket on, and she put my legs up. But this time, instead of going directly down under the blanket, she stopped, crawled up to my face, and gave me a little kiss, and then went under my legs. And I was like, that is the best thing ever. So how do you How do you
put a price? I mean, I don't know. It would depend on the dog's age, their overall health. I mean,
because we knew when it was time for Libby to go. We love Libby to death, too.
Yeah, I mean, it was really clear with Libby.
Like 13 years old.
Chloe,
she was 14 years old.
She was 15.
Yeah. She's a 15-year-old boxer. There's,
Yeah.
We spent a little extra to have the lady come here instead of having to take it to the vet.
But I mean, as far as a surgery, it would depend on a lot of things.
Yeah.
A few thousand, probably.
Yeah.
Did you ever cheat in school?
No. Seriously.
Never cheated on a test? Never looked at someone else's answer?
No.
Never wrote the answers down on your palm? No?
Closest thing I come to that, there was a thing where in earth science we were supposed to go out and look at the moon and tell on the day what phase the moon was supposed to be. And the day before it was due, I was like, shit, I forgot to do this all month. And I looked at the calendar, saw where the moon was on that day, and then I knew, like, through the class that it was a 3-day cycle for each phase. So I just backtracked from that. That's the closest I came to cheating. Got 100 on it. I was the only one that got 100 on it.
Because you cheated.
How was that?
I don't remember. I'm sure I did, but I don't remember.
Yeah. What would you do if you were reimbursed by your insurance for a valuable piece of jewelry you later found? Well, we know what would happen there because we have that.
First of all, I pay for my insurance.
Yeah.
So I'm being reimbursed my own money.
Yeah.
And probably my insurance went up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do jack shit. I would keep the money and I would have my piece of jewelry.
Well, we had a similar situation with your shoes. Like your mom ordered your shoes.
They said we could keep them.
Yeah, they did. We legit called them and say, hey, we didn't get these shoes. And then your mom was like, well, what if the shoes show up? And they're like, you just keep them, you get an extra pair. Mm-hmm. And it turns out Michael saw them on the front porch, came up to the porch, and instead of bringing them in the house, he brought them back down to his car and put them in his trunk. And then kept them in his trunk for a month. That was crazy.
That is crazy. Which moral dilemmas are the most important ones facing our country?
Ooh.
No, we want to keep this under an hour.
Yeah. And we already talked about
that. Already talked about that.
All right. Oop, this one's upside down. What would you do if your mom and her 4-year-old child, if a mom and her 4-year-old child asked you to change your aisle seat on an airplane for a middle seat so they could sit together? Well, your kid's going to have to learn about disappointment. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was just thinking you won't catch me on an airplane, but I would probably do that so that a parent could sit with their child.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because here's what... Yeah. Yeah. If I was sitting...
Start sniffing.
I have to switch so the mom is by the window. Somehow I have to switch to a middle seat.
Yeah.
So the parent and the child can sit together? That doesn't even make sense.
See, asked you to change your aisle seat on an airplane for a middle seat so they could see. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
This is a stupid question.
Because if you went to the middle seat, you'd be splitting up the two seats.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to think I would do it, but that doesn't make any sense.
Unless the mother was on the other aisle seat. But that doesn't make any sense
either. Well, then
either.
I would just switch aisle seats with her.
Yeah.
And I would be in the aisle on the other side.
We caught on to your little fuck up there. Table topics. Do better.
If you could siphon money from a large corporation into a charitable nonprofit without being found out, would you do it?
Well, you said that you would do that. You were like all kinds of attacking Jeff Bezos.
I said if I found Jeff Bezos' wallet, would I take money out of it?
You're talking about taking directly from Jeff Bezos, not Amazon.
I'm sorry. Okay, look. If I come across a wallet and I pick it up and it's, oh my God, it's Jeff Bezos' wallet, and it has $10,000 in cash in it, chances are I'm going to be taking probably not $10,000 in cash, but some of that money. I'm sorry. Everyone else can say they wouldn't do it. They're lying. Because you know people would do it.
I know people would do it.
Now, would I siphon money from a corporation? No.
No. Because that's embezzling. That's illegal as shit.
Is it stealing money out of the wallet if you know whose wallet it is?
Yeah.
And you found it?
Yeah.
I thought there was this whole finders, keepers, losers, weepers thing.
Yeah, that's not law. That's
it is law in kindergarten, goddammit.
It's the law of the K.
It's the law of the kinders.
Is justice or mercy more important? I think they go hand in hand. Well, I think they're hand in hand. I think you can't have justice without mercy. Because there are certain things that you watch, like the Darryl Brooks trial. I mean, first of all, that guy's a fucking douchebag.
Yeah, it's mercy to the people that he sinned against to have him go away from the rest of
I have to hand it to the judge in that because that woman makes me look like I'm an impatient bastard. She had so much patience for that dude.
Because she didn't want him to come back without... She didn't want him to have any reason...
Like a mistrial
to
or anything
appeal.
Like that. But, but I think you have to temper justice with mercy. You have to. Otherwise, what's the point? You know?
Did you see the statements when they sentenced the kid, the Parkland school shooter?
Mm.
The parents and the victims and all who came and read statements before his sentencing?
No.
You want to talk about there not being mercy?
Mm.
Those people were like, I hope you die and they burn you in the incinerator and dump your ashes in the dumpster behind the prison. And then when you go to meet your maker, I hope that he sends you straight to hell where you belong. I was like, holy crap.
I think people are largely all right with prison rape because of shit like that. You know, they're like, oh, dude's getting ass raped in prison.
And I'm sorry. I know that people are going to disagree with me. I do not necessarily support the death penalty, but there are people who deserve it. Yeah. And he's one of them.
And I get that. I just, I don't know. My thinking on the death penalty has changed considerably over the years. I used to be all for it, but now I just realize that no, you giving something like a decision like that up to the government. No, he's not. He's not. But I just don't want the government doing that. I really don't. I just don't think the government should be able to kill people.
They do it anyway.
They do. They do. Doesn't make it right.
I'd rather have them kill someone who's mass murdered a bunch of kids in high school.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, they could have did that day.
They could have.
I mean, honestly, if you're sitting there, let's do this scenario. If you're a cop at the mass shooting, and you're one of the first guys to get up there, and the kid's out of bullets, and you know he's out of bullets, don't you just go ahead and put one in his head anyway?
That's different. That's vigilante justice right there. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know you.
There's a reason why the Punisher is one of the top characters.
If he's out of bullets and is no longer a threat, you have no reason to shoot and kill him. And in the moment, he needs to go to court.
Yeah.
And he needs to be found guilty. and he needs to have his judicial rights and all of that kind of stuff. And then once they've proven in court that he's guilty, he needs the death penalty. In my opinion, it's not on a cop to measure that kind of justice out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I really don't lose a lot of sleep over that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, happy November, people. It's the month to be grateful. All right, so we'll be back next week.
Don't have anything going on. We'll tell you about the election day, which should be fun, I guess.
You'll know all about it. We probably won't talk about it. You'll know all about it. I don't know what we're doing today. We're going to build a Christmas village out of Lego.
That's you and Dad. Mm-hmm. I'm probably going to have to go outside and cut dead heads off of
the bush. Look at them.
Yeah. And then I got to go to Walmart and get some stuff for dinner. Woo!
Fun times. All right, y'all. Have a great weekend. Until then.
Bye, everybody.